Grace and peace to you. Plenty of things in my life have made me feel naive, but few have done so as much as this pandemic. It started with me thinking it'd be only a few weeks that we'd be dealing with it, then months, and now we're moving into our third calendar year of dealing with it. No matter where you fall politically or how you feel about the responses to it, we're all tired of having to be mindful of this pandemic. Tired of the protocols needed to mitigate it, tired of friends and family being sick, and for some, tired of losing loved ones we now grieve. But being tired of something does not make it go away. And while I hold to hope that 2022 will be the year that finally gives us some relief, and I can celebrate life-giving things now in a way that personally I wasn't really able to a year ago, we're still dealing with this virus. With the rising numbers attributed to the Omicron variant, our council took a look at how our church is approaching things. In large part, we feel pretty good about the steps that we've had in place and left in place all along, and will continue to hold to them moving forward. So I want to remind you of what those are and the importance of abiding them, as well as let you know of a few minor changes in the details. Throughout the pandemic, we've required masks anytime people are indoors. In a few cases, people have become lax in abiding by this, so I want to reiterate that this remains the council-approved protocol and is one of the main ways that we limit exposure to others. We're also ordering a number of N95 and KF94 masks that will be available to anyone to use. These have shown to be significantly more effective against the current variant than cloth masks, and we encourage you to use them if you don't have any of your own. Our choir is shifting their rehearsal space for the time being to take place in spaces that provide the most distance possible, and they will not be singing anthems that bunch people together in order to sing them for a little while. Our HVAC system does not allow for much change in our airflow, so if at all possible, we'll be leaving doors open in the sanctuary to allow for more ventilation moving through. This means it may be colder than you like it to be, so you may want to have a jacket that you can wear during the service. We also have some blankets that are available from when the heat wasn't working a couple years ago, and you're welcome to use those as well. We've changed the way that we do communion, now remaining in the sanctuary and very briefly removing masks just to eat and drink the communion elements and then placing them back on quickly. I want to remind folks to wait until you're in your seat before you eat or drink so that you're not walking by others as you take your mask off to do so. Also, if you'd like to step outside through the narthex to remove your mask and eat and drink there and then return to your seat, you're more than welcome to do that. It shouldn't mess up the flow. And lastly, a reminder that if you have had any symptoms of COVID, if you currently have them, or have been exposed to someone who has COVID, please do not attend in-person worship or events here. We invite you to participate in worship through our live stream, which, along with our parking lot option during worship, will continue to be available moving forward. Folks here have done well overall abiding by our protocols, which is why Council felt comfortable making adjustments and not major changes at this time. I thank you for your part in helping us be able to provide in-person options for worship and time together. I'm thankful for the technology like we're using now and like we use during worship, and for all that it has made possible during this time, making worship not an all or nothing choice that we make in such challenging times. But for many of us, being in person with others is so important for our mental and spiritual well-being. I appreciate your being responsible in following our protocol so that this can continue to be an option for these folks. Thank you for all you do to care for one another and for yourselves during such a challenging time. I wholeheartedly believe God is at work in this time, caring for others, working for the pandemic to come to an end, and I continue to believe that one of the primary ways that God is at work is through you, as God's love and care for others shines through you. Thank you and God's peace.